This year is graciously sponsored by Reb David and Figi Friedman of Wesley Hills, New York, Le'ilu Nishmas, their fathers, Avram Yaakov ben Usher Klein, as well as Reb Chaim Aaron ben Yaakov Ber Friedman. May their neshamas have an aliyah, may it be melitz yoshim for their entire mishpachas. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lechtich Musar Shir. We continue with the Pele Yoeitz. We are starting a new parak, still in Ois Aleph. We're on page 31 of the Art Scroll, day 10 of Hachsek, and we begin the chapter of Ahavas HaTorah v'HaMitzvos, love of Torah Mitzvos. It's one relatively short parak. It's a little longer than usual. Let's see what we have to say on this. So after thoroughly explaining the underlying concepts of Ahavas Hashem, which we've spent about 2 weeks on now, the Pele Yoeitz now turns his attention to other types of ahava that will flow from one's love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Uchashem she'amarnu she'stagas ahava v'yira hakol lefi roiv ha'maiso lefi roiv ha'limud b'Torah b'sifrei musar. As we've just explained, achieving these lofty goals of love and fear for HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a byproduct of the amount of Torah and mitzvahs that one immerses himself in. The more love and fear Yirah Shamayim that one attains, the greater his connection and dedication to the actual Torah and mitzvahs will be. I mean, it goes hand in hand. It's not just do mitzvahs and learn Torah as a stepping stone to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but it circles back. It's a boomerang. Bring it out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's like you cast your net, catch the fish, you catch HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then you reel it back in, and then you eat it. It's geschmack, and you take it in, and then again you go back out. That's the relationship. It's a galgal achayzer. It's a beautiful galgal. Usually it's a derogatory, it's a condescending term, but here it's a vicious cycle of positivity, of dveikus, of our, as the Pele Yoeitz called it, our hearts being ablaze with fire and shukwa for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How does this work? How does this correspondence take shape? As a rule, love and affection is shown when one performs the will of the one whom he holds dear with all of his heart, all of his soul, and all of his resources. We know that that's regular life. And as we say in Shir Shir, many waters cannot extinguish the fire of love, which means that love can motivate a person and light a fire within him that will never cease because of this. And therefore, this translates into our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He can even bend his shoulder to bear the intensity of the yoke of Torah mitzvahs for many years if he's ready to take that on, if he loves it. And it will go like the snap of a finger. Why? Because love is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when you do something you love, it's not taskful, it's not heavy, it's not hard, it's not grunt work. It's love, it's life itself. It moves, it's fluid, because you're engaged in something you love. Just like people do with the love, with the desire for mammon, for money, and other material desires. It would be a sufficiently great accomplishment if a person would only reach a level where he loves Torah and mitzvahs as much as he loves money. So we see the Pele Yoeitz was living under no rock. He was in no cave. He was clearly aware of people's chemdas amamin. He was aware of the tendencies of mankind, and apparently this is not just in the 2025 era, but this was in 200 years ago as well, in the 16th and the 1700s. And he says, "Halavai v'dai lo odem sheves ha'Torah v'mitzvahs kavas ha'mammon." A person should love Torah as much as he loves mammon. Halavai avas ishtoi bon v'chadayim halavai tei kohenes kepuntikis. Ubezeh yivode ifoi imigia lemadreges oives barak asher yes sos alimrase kemitzah shal rav. So to summarize, a person will know if he has injected within him the true love of Torah mitzvahs when he finds that he will rejoice over HaKadosh Baruch Hu's word, over the Torah, like one who finds abundant spoils. It's a pasuk of Sasan Reichel Emesecha Kumeitze Shalrov. We say this on Rosh Hashanah right before Tikiyah Shofar. It's not a coincidence, right before the most serious time of the year. We say Sasan Reichel Emesecha Kumeitze Shalrov. Why? As we go in, as we need a merit, we need a schus for the Nayar Yar, for the new year, not so far away. We say this pasuk, and we tell Hashem. Hopefully, we're declaring it in truth, and we mean it, and we identify with it. But we're telling Hashem, Sasa noichi al emersecha. I rejoice over your word, Kimaitzo Sharav, as if I found $1 million, as if I found a brand new multi-million-dollar company. I'm so excited over a Rashba. I'm so excited over the Gemara. I'm so excited over the Pele, Yoeitz, the Chavis Avavis, the Chavetz Chaim, the Chumash, Rashi. So it says the Pele Yoeitz, the litmus test to know where you're holding is, are you excited? Are you as excited as you are with your Torah as you are with your money? So he continues that with this new outlook on life, where one focuses his energies on spiritual growth and is totally motivated to please HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he can now begin to understand the terrible evil of wasting time. So again, this can seem a little lofty, this can seem a little idealistic, but we can ingrain it, we can apply it to ourselves. Certainly on our level, we can think about these things. Yeah, I have to work. Yes, I have to make money. I have to provide for my family. I have to sustain them. But this should at least inspire, this should at least evoke the question within ourselves of, where am I holding? When I'm done with my work for the day, where am I on Sundays? Where am I on Motzei Shabbos? Where am I on Shabbos? Do I have a Havas Torah? Do I need to work on my Havas Torah? Do I have Yireh Shamayim? Do I care for Yireh Shamayim? All these things. If we're not going to actually be jumping for joy over Rashba, which isn't likely, it's not so realistic, but at least should be like, hey, am I excited to do this? Do I want to do this? Do I understand? Am I connecting to it? Am I connecting to the Gemara? Am I connecting to the mitzvah? Whatever it is. But this should at least inspire elevated thought for life, food for thought. Now says the Pele Yoeitz that once we understand, we have structured an appreciation for Torah mitzvos, and he gave us the litmus test. So now we understand the gravity and how we have to be so meticulous about never wasting time, even a moment, because every moment possesses nitzchias. And every moment is essentially more pure and precious than pearls. As we know from the Mishnah Ovis, the Mishnah says, woe to them, to the people, because of their insult to the Torah. There's no greater insult than this. A person has the opportunity to gain so much good for himself and do what is pleasing before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but he doesn't care. He pushes it away. He says, what is this? He completely just lets it fall through his fingers. Straight through. There's no contemplation, there's no worry, there's no feelings of regret, of remorse. What's a big deal? Another minute, another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, another 24 hours, days, weeks, months, years, and before he knows it. And he's quoting a pasuk which he quoted before. It says in Yirmiyah, they have forsaken me, the source of living waters, to dig for themselves broken cisterns. Every time we're mevatel, every time we choose poorly in our time management and we don't use it for avodas Hashem, for Torah, making broken cisterns. We're building, but there's just holes in it, and everything's going through. Praiseworthy is the man who understands the incredible value of a mitzvah, for with this we are able to please Hashem. We've quoted this in the past as well, that 1 hour of Torah and Ma'asim Tovim in this world is more precious than the entire Olam Haba. We see the tremendous potential, every moment has to offer, what it contains, what it can achieve. So now we continue that when one resolves to live a life filled with Ahavas Hashem and constantly strives to build a closer relationship with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he saves himself from many evils of society. One must be especially careful where a potential loss of money is involved. He must not let his lust, his desire for money overtake him and compromise his values. So that should not be that he loves money more than he loves HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what I mean to say is that there's an opportunity to make money or to prevent the hefsid mammon, but at the same time, there's mitzvahs and there's Torah to be learned. We can't compromise our values. We have to stay dedicated to the truth and committed to our starim. And anytime a person forsakes avodas Hashem, whether it's Torah or mitzvahs or for any reason, and he forsakes it because of something else, for any other reason, it comes out, it emerges, that he desires that thing, whatever it may be, money or any other, whatever it is, the davar ma, and he desires that more than his closest with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So a person must work and strive to free himself of his base desires and not allow them to become the focus of his life. And furthermore, even when the need arises and he does involve himself with worldly matters, he should place these pleasures and indulgences in their proper perspective and strive to focus on their proper purpose. What does that mean? It should be for the sake of avodas Hashem, more Torah, more mitzvahs. And it should be, whether it's a vocation or parnasas, whatever it is that he's doing outside of Torah, it should all circle back that he should be able to pursue more Kadosh Baruch Hu, more Torah mitzvahs. And in this way he can elevate even the mundane, and all of his actions should be for the sake of Shemayim. As the Pasuk says, in all your ways you should know Kadosh Baruch Hu, and he will smooth your paths. This is a klal gadol b'Torah. Ki b'toich kach lo yetzi min ashura v'yishkal b'feles kol ma'asav b'midah b'mishkal v'mashura. And for this, with this attitude, this approach towards worldly matters, he will never be drawn to cross the boundaries he erects to regulate and control his base desires, and he will succeed in taking a step back and carefully evaluating all of his actions in measure, weight, and volume. It'll emerge that if all of his worldly engagements and everything that he is has to be engaged outside of Torah, it's all L'Shem Shamayim. In light of what the Pele Yoeitz is saying over here, that our whole entire life can be dedicated to Kadosh Baruch Hu. This goes well with, I believe it was the Chafetz Chaim who said, how's it possible? It says, V'gisa b'yom v'layla, that a person should be Yagei, should be Isaac, he should be learning, toiling in Torah, Yom and V'layla, but we need it. In fact, the Chafetz Chaim, we have to sleep, we have to eat. There's many hours. The Rambam gives 7 hours to sleep and a bunch of hours to eat and to walk and to exercise. So how many hours left are we left with of V'gisa b'yom and V'layla? We're sleeping most of the night. We have to prepare. We have to be busy with our families, with our personal needs, with how could it be Yom and V'layla? Says the Chafetz Chaim, Mamash Yisoid, that if all of our external engagements and taking care of ourselves and our families and tending to our needs are all circling around the Kadosh Baruch Hu, all to serve a higher purpose, it's not that you have 7 hours of avodas Hashem or 10 hours of avodas Hashem and the other 14, the other 16, 17 hours are for yourself, for our Bahamis, for our Gashmis, for our Taivas. No. All of that time becomes elevated, becomes allocated towards our ruchnis, towards V'gisa b'yom v'layla. So if a person's learning for a few hours a day, whatever that is, but everything else is in order to enable that, in order to let that happen, then it's Yom and V'layla. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, well, you're a person that's focused on me, my Torah, my mitzvahs are the central point of your life, so everything else that you're doing around it is in order to sustain that. That's how we're Mekayim, V'gisa b'yom v'layla, And that's exactly what we see over here. You're never going to walk out of the boundaries. And it comes out that in his entire life, he could be a Torah Yid. How? He was outside, he was working, he was busy with his family, and he's busy eating and sleeping. Yeah, but at the essence, at the core, he was different than the other guy because he was thinking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was coming back to this medrash. He was doing mitzvahs for a woman. She was coming back to do chesed, to daven, to do her mitzvahs. So her life, his life, these are lives of dveikus. These are lives of Torah and mitzvahs. These are lives of being an Eved Hashem, a Ben Melech, a Bas Melech. We conclude, V'yesh har b'mina havas shemutalis ala odlam v'chula nimshachas me'havas habayre. So now we're saying that there are other feelings of love that a person should develop through his lifetime. This is his wife, and we're going to go on to loving oneself, his wife, his spouse, his parents, his children, a bunch of prakim that we're going to get into now. And says the Pele Yoeitz that the only way a person can truly love other people, including himself, realizing his self-worth, is only once there's a strong, firm love implanted in place of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All those emanate, they all develop, they all are a byproduct of love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This essay explaining the love for Torah Mitzvos is only the first type of love that is meant to emerge from one's love for Hashem, and after that is put in place, then one can come to love himself and others, including his wife, his parents, his children. But the Yoeitz is, again, working backwards, that we have to love Hashem, we have to do his mitzvahs, and the way to do that is to always be thankful, to learn more Torah, to do more mitzvahs. That gives us a galgal chayzer, a revolving love, a constant rekida, dance with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and in turn that comes back to us. That makes us more helig. That makes us more observant. Makes us realize the hatav of Kadosh Baruch Hu on a constant basis. And when we have that, that'll enrich our Torah. It's a constant flow. It's a constant circle, turning, and that brings us up. That enriches us, and throughout life, that's how we eventually will reach our shleimus. Our shleimus means self-worth, self-love, and once we love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as we concluded just now, when we love Hashem, then we're able to, from the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's able to branch off into other loves. And the first one, as we'll continue Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow, is going to be Ahavas Atzmai, self-worth, loving oneself. But that only comes from starting with loving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, being mindful, thankful, and grateful for all the constant goodness that He bestows upon us.